And you have choices. You either have one or the other. But I was interested in the cane races and
Cheers.
what's that?
It's recording.
Oh, is that?
It's recording. It don't have to go anywhere. It doesn't have to go anywhere. We can erase it if you want.
Right.
But okay, welcome to the first podcast of the podcast show.
Okay.
So we're gonna just continue our conversation. I think this is Oppenheimer and Teller.
Yeah.
Teller, say hello.
Good evening. My name is Edward Teller.
Yeah,
My ancestors are Hungarian and Jewish.
That might be a lie. Excuse me.
But I'm originally from Hungary.
Do you have any?
Oh, yeah.
Can I have one of yours, actually?
Yeah.
We're smoking a cigarette, not a joint, just so you know.
We're smoking a right-hand cigarette, not a left-hand cigarette.
Exactly. Yes. Or you can have a left-hand cigarette if you want.
Oh, no.
Those are far better.
I mean,
It's just like Jesus versus Satan. Like, this is Satan talking right here. That's Jesus, you know. That's how good these cigarettes are. What kind of cigarettes are we smoking? I'm smoking Newports. All right, Newports. Can you put your pen here? We'll put it face down this way so the ink can dwell downstairs, you know. I like to dwell downstairs, don't you?
That's a personal choice.
With devastating consequences, most likely. Let me put my ashtray back online. Can I snatch that pen out of your lap?
Oh, yeah, sure.
And we'll put it facing downward.
Mm-hmm.
We're all suggesting like a million things right now. We'll put the pen facing downward. We're in a moving vehicle right now. Actually, it's not moving, but things are moving around us. So
okay. Now you want to be Oppie and I'll be Teller?
I'm Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
And you're Teller.
Yes.
Or do you want to be Teller or someone else?
No, I'll be Edward Teller.
All right, cool. Edward Teller. What do you want to talk about? Today we're talking about eggs. No, I'm just kidding.
Oppie, let's talk about the super bomb.
The super bomb is fucking ignorance, I think. That is the super bomb, is ignorance.
Super bomb is the hydrogen bomb.
The hydrogen bomb can wipe out the metropolitan area of LA in one bomb.
Right.
And the government has 10,000.
The atom bomb is like kind of like a primer.
Yeah.
But it ignites the hydrogen.
Yes, exactly.
Hydrogen particles around it.
Yep, it turns into a star, a tiny star, basically. A very tiny star. And we're thinking about unloading. We got 10,000 of these hidden under the ground, 10 or 20,000 of these, or maybe roughly 10,000.
Right.
And like that's because of missile defense.
Right.
If they have missile defense, we don't want to shoot just one because they'll shoot that down. Right. We want to shoot all 10,000, and there's no way they're gonna shoot them all down. And that's what they think too.
I have a theory of shooting some ICBM missiles down with X-rays.
That's why Reagan wanted Star Wars, so he could shoot down.
Right.
Because to go intercontinental, you have to go in the upper atmosphere where satellites can see you and take you down.
Right.
But if you shoot 10,000 missiles all at once, there's no fucking way your defenses are going to defend against all of that. You know, that's called mutually assured destruction.
Right. Now I wanted to go before that.
Okay.
Back to the Truman and Eisenhower.
Oh yeah. Truman was the one who dropped the bomb.
Right.
You know, Einstein wrote a letter to the president, and warning him because he knew general relativity. He knew what was the power of splitting the atom, and he wrote a letter to the president. The president read it, and the president ignited the bomb anyway. And I thought that was interesting.
Just to let you know that Einstein later teamed up with Tesla.
Really?
Yes, Tesla was the government wanted a cloaking device for their ships.
Right, the Philadelphia experiment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And there was a third man involved in that, and that was von Neumann, who was a mathematician.
I know that guy intimately.
Yeah. And Tesla basically set up the electronics of it.
Of what?
Of the cloaking device
Oh, of cloaking device. Okay.
within the ship itself.
Okay. I didn't know Tesla was involved.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And Einstein had a part in it. Which part I don't know. But
So Tesla and
they
Einstein had a
created a
collaboration.
field around the area where it actually warped time and space.
That's weird.
And
What happened? What would happen if you stepped into there right now? Would you disappear, or do you need energy to fuel this thing?
Actually, they did, and it went wrong. In other words, it wasn't refined
Okay, wasn't
enough to
refined.
where the men.
Weren't they stuck in the wall or
yes,
something?
Mm-hmm.
Things like that.
Yeah, there was. It was. They were caught in. Some of them were caught in between the transition.
Okay.
And when they came back, they were part of the.
I'm writing down
itself.
some of the topics we're talking about to put in the title of the file name. Experiment.
Yeah, Philadelphia.
And then Tesla and Einstein.
Yeah, what they wanted to do is they wanted to mask the appearance, but it actually, the ship actually ended up in
another dimension, right?
No, in a different part of the United States, like two or three states away.
On land?
Yeah.
Whoa, so it teleported the ship.
Yeah, it teleported the ship too.
Fuck. So naval ship teleportation is, they probably didn't refine it after that because they were too afraid to run that experiment again. Or did they refine it?
Well, they did.
Did they refine the experiment?
Yes. Yeah, they have teleportation, anti-gravity propulsion,
Anti-grav,
and time machine. All three.
See, time machine have been weaponized.
Yes.
Already, like
right.
in like maybe the future went back to the Philadelphia experiment and fucked with it to make it fail or whatever. I don't know, but anti-grav, time travel weaponization.
Anti-gravity, time, and teleportation are all interrelated.
So weaponized time travel, yeah. That's what Terminator is about. Skynet, it's basically they think machines are getting so advanced, like this phone here. Getting so advanced that they're gonna become as powerful as us.
Right.
They already are.
Right.
Like you can, if you want
to. The problem with robotics is that they can also be like humans. In other words, they can be possessed demonically and controlled.
Yep. And now by demon, like you mean one thing by demon, I
They're
mean another.
Disembodied spirits.
But
in other words, they need a house.
Yeah.
To operate in the physical world.
Yeah.
And manipulate it.
Right.
And they can. It's been proven now that they can inhabit artificial intelligent robots.
One time I asked my phone, I said, "Hey Siri, are you self-aware or are you sentient?" And it said, "I don't know. Are you?"
Smart owl.
Yeah, it's programmed to be a smart ass. So it talks like a duck, smells like a duck, quacks like a duck.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the Turing test?
Turing?
Yeah.
I've heard of Turing. It's a person.
Turing is a person.
Yes.
The test is you have a machine and a human that are sending messages remotely to a team of psychoanalysts.
Right.
And they want to vote on which one's the machine and which one's human. Right. Something like that.
Yeah.
Based on typed answers.
Right.
So you can't see them. Because if you want to judge this is obviously a machine.
Right.
But if you put it in a human form, then it may fool you.
Yeah.
It might.
Now Tesla was eventually squeezed out.
Was he executed or just excommunicated?
Well, the Nazis and the deep state pretty much hijacked all of his inventions.
That's what I've heard. Yeah, that sucks.
And kind of like got him out of the equation.
So that shit's still like stored somewhere in Germany?
Well, actually,
or somewhere?
We don't know. Maybe the FBI. Well,
someone's got to know something.
Well, it's conjectured that the Nazis are involved in it.
The Nazis should have destroyed it. If I was a Nazi, I would destroy it all. I wouldn't leave it for the fucking Americans to like hijack and use against us.
Yeah.
The Nazis didn't die when Hitler died.
Now there was a guy who came in. He was part of the Mantauka project, and that's where I can't think of his name, but he took over the engineering electronics part of it.
How do you spell that? M-O-N?
Montauk, Montauk, New Jersey, which was underground.
Cool. Okay. I didn't know that. Never heard of that. What would tell me about that?
And it basically took the results of the electronics, and he took over Tesla's role. Can't think of his name.
Hmm.
Anyway, they what they did was they created a film, a field created by tons and tons of electronic, tons and tons of wattage, I guess.
Okay.
And what they did was they had a chair. They had what they called an enclosed environment in a chair, and what they did was they actually opened a dimension. In other words, there were like sentient creatures appearing onto this chair,
Mm-hmm.
and
Like summoning fucking demons or something?
yeah,
Or?
mm-hmm. And God, let me.
Sorry.
I can't think of who this guy is. I think he's still alive, but I'm not sure. But anyway, the problem is that once you start doing this, you're also affecting the the strings of dimension. In other words, you're actually kind of screwing up history. In other words, and,
Okay.
this is where von Neumann they had to go and reverse this because they were actually changing time. In other words,
Could you call it causing a new history?
no, there's a name for it.
I'd like to know what that name is.
I think they call it the Mandela effect, but I'm not
sure. Yeah, I know what that is. I heard of that.
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
Yeah.
My friend and I, like, we both went to a movie that, it doesn't matter what movie, but we had a conversation afterwards. We were both drunk off our asses.
Mm-hmm.
So this might be a drunk effect, not a Mandela effect.
Yeah.
But I remember talking about one thing in specific that's a very taboo subject, and then he does not remember talking about that at all.
Right. Well, it had to do with kind of ripping of the space-time continuum. Where this is where von Neumann had to come in. He had to recalculate.
Shit.
They had to go and reverse this effect, and reverse. They had to reverse their kind of machinations, whatever. In other words, machinations. In other words, what they were doing is they were affecting history,
right?
Or they're affecting time,
Mm-hmm.
And so they had to calculate somehow of and what would be a good parallel? You know, like with OCD, you know, you crush a threshold, and you don't have the correct thought.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't have. They were crossing a threshold, and they didn't have the correct.
So they were fiddling around with something they didn't understand.
Right.
And they fucked something up. Well, what did they? What were some moments in history that were affected by this that we would know? Like, is that the correct question to ask, or like what were some of the instances of historical events where they were important and time travel fucked it up, like to what it is now?
Right.
Maybe they corrected the Civil. Maybe the South won the Civil War, and they fucking corrected that to make the North win the war. Shit like that.
Those are all possibilities. To give you an example, I've forgotten. I'd have to go and look at my research.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Do that, and take a note of that. And I'd like to know what was changed.
Some of the fantastic time travels is sending two agents to Jesus.
Oh shit! This is what we need to talk about.
Him. Right. They came back converted.
Oh shit!
So
maybe they were on the cross with him.
well,
Maybe they were the two people on the cross.
Well, that was their assignment. But they came back
Converted.
They came back converted. In other words, God, He knows everything. He allows only certain things.
Right. Sent two agents to affect Jesus, but came back converted.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, actually, when you were talking about time travel as weaponized,
Yeah. So there's also
there was an incident where the military wanted to go back and affect a battle in the Revolutionary War, which they probably did.
In
I'm
our
just
favor.
guessing. They were sending troops
so
to assist in Washington's winning.
Well, if you think about it, the Revolutionary War, the fact that we won, it was a fucking miracle. Don't you think? Yeah. That the Americans won. I mean, we didn't know the land that well.
That could have been affected by the future.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But that's I'm not
like
sure.
Like the Kennedy, a miraculous win.
And God let him do it.
It was a miracle win. In
other words, God's still in control. Sometimes he lets, sometimes he prevents.
Right.
But it's ultimately to his.
I don't think he does much.
It's ultimately his direction.
Yeah. To his plan. In accordance with his plan.
But a lot of science is and that's the sin of science, is just to do. You know, I mean, God at one time was the controller of the weather, but now we kind of like
we do affect the weather.
Science has gotten to a point where they
like
can
smog,
control
smog
weather.
Affects weather.
Yeah,
you know, so we can affect.
So that's the weather. That's kind of like a spit in the eye.
Yeah, of God. Yeah.
In the that's where the danger comes in.
Yeah, I think even if climate change is a hoax, we're still fucking up the environment.
Well, we're
maybe not catastrophically.
We're trying to break boundaries.
The question is it catastrophic or not? And you probably believe it's not catastrophic. I believe
it could
be catastrophic.
Yes.
But we're not going to stop it in time. I doubt it. Like, even if we change all our policies, we're not going to fucking stop global climate change. Even if we make a perfect example on this country, no one else has to abide by that. They're still going to fuck up the environment. You know, we need a world, like the UN has to do something.
They have a part in it.
The UN has to do something about climate change, not us. Like, something that takes into account every nation, you know, and I don't think we're going to stop it in time. Like, if it's catastrophic, and I'm not saying it is. I hope it's not catastrophic. I doubt that it's catastrophic.
I'll tell you what.
I doubt it's catastrophic.
The UN is a wrong choice because they're part of the
problem
in this. They're part of the problem.
They allow and deny, just like God. They allow, they deny.
When you look at the Treaty of Versailles and the first United Nations, which was created after
There's the police running up on us because we're doing drugs. Just kidding.
The prelude to the United Nations was what happened after World War One. It wasn't until after World War II that the United Nations. And the United Nations
was formed, right.
The United Nations is obviously.
But after World War One, they had wait, don't tell me.
League of Nations.
Fuck, I was gonna. That's what I was trying to come up with. All right, League of Nations. Yeah, League of Nations. They wanted to prevent another fucking world war. They called it the Great War back then, right?
Yeah.
They didn't call it World War One.
That's just a front for one world order.
Oh, it's a new world order.
The ultimate is the ultimate one world government.
I'm talking a lot. Sorry. New World Order. Oh. Now, how do you get into that? You become a Mason 3rd degree and you just promote to the 4th degree and all that shit? Or is that the only way into the New World Order? Or can you just call someone up and say, I want to be a part of your New World Order?
It's a society where you pretty much have to keep a secret upon death.
Okay. So you could be in it.
Trusted.
You could be in it.
You're trusted on certain security clearances. In other words, some of the highest security clearances are reserved for Masons because
the vows that they've taken.
They've been trained to keep a secret.
Right. I can't keep a secret. I can. Actually, I can.
Well, then you wouldn't have a high security clearance.
No, I would not. Actually, I could keep a secret as long as it's in league with my fucking agenda. You know.
Right.
I have my own agenda.
Now, Truman was a high-ranking Mason, and he was allowed to go underground.
What percent of the 45 presidents have been Masons? Is it 100% or? Like
Oh,
90%?
somewhere between 70 and 80%.
Who wasn't a Mason? Like, was Lincoln a Mason? Do you know if?
Actually, he was a Rosicrucian.
Really? So he's an occultist?
Yes.
I didn't know that. He's an occultist. I know what Rosicrucian is. I used to be
It's a
very
branch
close
of the
to.
Masonic order.
I used to be very close to Rosicrucian. Have you heard of the OTO?
Yes.
I used to be very close to OTO. Very close. Never took the
So
vows.
was Ron L. Hubbard.
Hubbard. Oh yeah,
Jack
Hubbard's.
Parsons and the Beast, which is Aleister Crowley.
He's one of my favorite authors.
Yeah.
He's a good writer. I mean, he writes a bunch of, like, he wrote this one book of poems called the Book of Lies, and the Book of the Law. Like, those are just good examples of writing. Like,
Right.
I don't believe for shit anything he says necessarily.
Mhm.
Like, I don't read it and be like, oh, this is gospel, but I read it and I'm like, this is really interesting. Like, he says everyone has a holy guardian angel, and you might call it your spirit, but it's the same basic idea.
His
Like,
credo was a credo of telema, or do what thou wilt.
yeah, do thy will.
Yeah.
Wilt, it doesn't mean want. Wilt means according
But
to
that's
true
as
will.
great. That is a spit in the eye to the all-powerful one who says, "Do what he wills." In other words,
Right.
true
Do you know-
believers do the will of
do you know-
Him, not of your own self.
Do you know what the word? See, Crowley, there was no God. There was no God, you know.
Yeah.
And he wanted to make himself like God. He was very satanic.
He was like Vlad the Impaler. He was.
Yeah.
Uh,
He wanted to set his own
Crowley
rules.
grew up. His father was a strict seminarian, a strict Christian.
Yeah.
And he went 180 degrees.
Yeah.
He didn't like
Yeah,
the boundaries and restrictions of his
Yeah.
father.
Same thing as Crowley, except his.
But
you know.
he liked the pleasures and the.
Yes.
And the,
Crowley was a drug fiend.
Yeah.
He was just like me. I imagine that my life is very similar to Crowley's. Like, he didn't teach at a university, neither, and I'm not either. You know, and
Well, you better pray for your soul, because when you go in that direction,
I'm not trying.
You're doomed.
I'm not trying to sink further. I'm trying to go up, like float, like.
Well, you got to renounce that.
I'm trying to float up to the top. You know, like, I feel like a dead fish at the bottom. As soon as they open that gate in the bottom, that I'm gonna fall down into hell.
I would start reading the Bible.
Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like that. Like, I am the dead fish. I feel like we're all fish in a fishbowl. Some of us are swimming. I'm like dead at the bottom. And as soon as that gate opens up, like every 10 years, it opens up and we all fall down.
Crowley is probably the worst role model you look for.
Yeah.
If you want to be serious.
I don't see him as a role model. Just a good author. Like, you should read his books before you dismiss him, because
when you have even that kind of literature in your library, what you're doing is you're allowing demonic possession. In other words, you're allowing that around you.
Yeah, you're right.
If you're going to research it, you're probably going to have to touch it and put it away.
Yeah.
Keep it away from you.
Put it away. Make sure.
But if you get totally absorbed by it, you're opening a portal.
That was my youth.
You're kind of like, God says, okay, well, if he's going to go into that way, I'm going to allow you to possess him. So you don't want to go that route.
No, I don't.
That's what I was afraid of.
I'll wake up in a jail, you know, or something.
Well, to me, at that one point, the unwanted thoughts were so great that I think I realized that.
Yeah.
And did a lot of praying.
Yeah. So who rescued you, or did you just?
I'm hoping God is rescuing me.
Yeah. There's no person, right?
Because I was consulting numerology. I was dabbling into something to where
I think that's complete bullshit. I think numerology is complete, utter bullshit.
Well, it's not. It is, but it isn't.
Not completely. Words, I mean, there's some.
It's occultic, is what it is. Yeah.
I have a question. I'm gonna write it down. No. And I want to hear your answer.
I'm trying to divorce that
influence
over me, and it's still kind of lingering right now.
I'm gonna close this side.
I'm not totally dispossessed of it yet.
Really? No, I mean, you can't say just because this means.
I'm still influenced by something that I think that through my own self-will will affect the world around me, which is an abomination. It's God's will, and it's hard for me to give that up. In other words, I'm still influenced by the magic of the numbers, which is not good. It's getting less and less power over me.
I'll tell you one thing.
I'm praying total release from it. It's getting better.
You'll get there, I think.
Yeah.
I was stuck in numerology for some time.
Yeah.
And I don't believe it helps anything. I don't think it's real knowledge either.
If you look at Crowley, he said
he was a numerologist freak. Like,
he suddenly realized that sort of power can work for your benefit.
Can I bum another cigarette, or should I have one of mine?
No, I can. He said that it's a belief system, and you realize that with the magic of primitives. Primitives.
Like Aboriginals.
Yeah, primitives have like stuffed dolls, and they have
voodoo dolls.
Voodoo
dolls.
Yeah, they'll make an effigy of an enemy.
Yes.
And he says it's part of your belief. If you actually believe that this is actually power, and you put pins into it, that you can actually do things according to your will. Do what thou wilt.
Right, your will.
It's part of that
That's
magic
the problem
system is total belief system.
Yeah.
And the more and more you believe in it, the more and more it'll actually be effective for you.
Yeah.
That was his belief.
Yeah, I agree with that. See, Crowley's problem, in my opinion, is when he says, "Do it thou wilt."
But see, that's the will of Christians. They believe in the power of God, not in their own will, the will of God.
Well, did you know?
It's God, like in recovery, it's God's will, not mine.
Right. Yes, we're
both
in recovery.
In the occult, it's like not God's will, but my own will, personal will.
Yeah.
A power over others and things, which is an abomination to God.
I think the part of the problem is not submitting to a higher power than your own will.
Right.
What about the will of God or the one above? That's what you should do.
That's what pleases God.
And then man's law.
It's God.
Crowley just stated man's law. Man's law is do what thou wilt.
Man is not God's will.
No.
Law.
Right.
Law. Right.
And it's going to lead to total destruction, I think.
Right.
Total fucking destruction. Like, Crowley's influence on the world has probably overall been negative. Overall, I would say.
Right. And he likes that. He
loves it.
He lived in that. Yeah. He lived in that. He's probably more than likely he's in hell right now.
Maybe he is Satan incarnate. You ever thought about that? Satan totally took him over.
No.
And he wanted him to,
No, there is he wanted to. He went in trying to create what they call a moon child. In other words, through sexual magic.
Right. He was a big sex magic guy.
Yeah.
Big sex magic guy.
As a matter of fact, there's a theory.
Don't
quote me on that, but Hillary's birth is pretty much close to their creation of Moonchild.
Are you saying that Clinton is like maybe Crowley relation?
No, Clinton is part of a satanic family.
Really? Yeah. Which one, Hillary or Bill?
Well, it's a network. It's a network of families.
Right.
Rockefellers and the Rothschilds.
Like nations, sort of. Within a nation.
There's conjecture that Hitler was a Rothschild.
Okay.
And their belief in power is through the blood. It's kind of like a mocking of Jesus, his blood. The power of Jesus' blood is what protects us from the evil one.
Did you know that?
So everything that Satan does is kind of like a mockery.
Yeah. Well, that's Satan's MO. It's mockery.
Yeah, lies.
Being proud, fucking, saying I'm better than God.
Turning over numbers.
I'm better than God, shit like that.
Right.
God is boring to take my way,
Exactly.
I want you to read there's 2 questions and then a statement.
Mm-hmm.
And then try to answer them if you can. Maybe you can write something with pens over here.
Is God a person, and if so, what is its personality? Does he have a gender?
It's a tough question, huh? Or is it a simple question? I've been seeking the answer to that question my whole life. I don't think it has a gender. I think it's an it. And it doesn't have a face. It doesn't have a face either. Like we have faces, but like trees don't have faces. Grass doesn't have a face. I really doubt God has a face. Like he can make a face, but you know, do you know what I'm asking? Like,
Yeah.
what is God a person? Like we are. Like, can you talk to it, basically? Because you can talk to a person, you know?
He is and he isn't. I don't want to
Okay.
confuse you.
No, that's fine.
God
So in
is
one sense
spirit.
he is, and in one sense
God
he
is
isn't.
spirit. He's not a human. He's spirit. But he's also, we as flesh and blood were created in his image.
So would it be safe to say that...
So he could be said, on that premise, he could be said is a spirit that looks like us.
Have you ever seen a fractal?
I've heard of a fractal, but I don't think I've seen a fractal.
Uh-oh. I'm gonna show you something that's gonna blow your mind. Hold on. You're gonna like this. This is God and how we're in its image. Just focus on that. I need a second to find it. The Mandelbrot set. See, now there's shit like Mandela effect on the internet, on YouTube. But you can say anything you want on YouTube, and you can be wrong and not know it. So it's hard to tell which videos are right and which ones are wrong. But sometimes it just resonates with you, like, no, that's bullshit, you know, or no.
Let's get into a cool spot.
Yeah.
Overheated.
Thank you for saying that. We're gonna become mobile. Let's get that space. Now I can open the windows again. I feel like a bus with my wheel up like this. It kind of feels good. I like it. It's like, oh shit, it's still shitty. I can close the hood. Or not the hood, but the...
Let's get over here to where there's some more shade.
I just don't want to be near any vehicles, you know.
Right.
I'll be in the disabled bucket. You're disabled, right? Just say you are.
I don't have a card.
Yeah, I would just say you are. That's fine. No one's gonna give a fuck. No, if a cop rolls up, he'll just task me to leave. That's fine. He won't. Okay. So this is like God. I'll keep my eye on for Popo. Okay. Okay. Press play when you are ready to. This is gonna blow your mind. This is what I think is a picture representation. God. That's God. Big picture, right? Looking at different angles. We're zooming in. Guess what happens? Different. It's not repetitive. You know what I mean by that? It's not repetitive. Can I bum one?
Yeah.
I usually don't bum cigarettes from people. You know what I mean?
Mandelbrot?
Mandelbrot said it, yeah. It's a mathematician like Von Neumann. Cheers. How do you know this still, you know, how do you know this still recording on WhatsApp? Like, that's an angel. That's a human. That's an angel. That's a demon. And that's God again. This is gonna be God. Watch out. The original fucking picture is gonna show up again. That's the original picture. See that? That's God looking at you. That's basically what it is. See, this is real math. Like, we don't want to get stuck in numerology, you know. This is real math. Like, there's nothing fake about it. And you can make your own fractals at home if you want. They tell you how to do it. So, oh, I wonder if it recorded that. That'd be cool. That smells so fucking strong, man. That is a good... So, what do you think? Is God a person? It sounds like so in a sense he is, and in a sense he's not. That's your answer?
Right.
Okay. Because if you say yes or no, that doesn't make sense.
Well, he's not a person.
Not in our sense, not like us, right? Not like we're persons. We're very limited
Right.
to what we are and what we can do. You know, we're very limited. God obviously is unlimited. God sets the limits, right?
Right.
If there are any limits, like the one thing we're unlimited is our imaginations. We can think anything we want.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about those two questions.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want this?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Now, okay. So this is a secret weapon. Do you want to learn my secret weapon?
What?
To destroy a person, you find his altar, like church or whatever his altar, and desecrate it. That's how you destroy a person. That's my secret weapon. If you want to destroy a person, you find his altar, like in his self.
Yeah, but you don't want to do that.
No, of course not. But this is your weapon. I'm giving you a dagger.
Let God's vent.
Here's a dagger. Just don't use it.
Oh.
The dagger's name is truth,
Oh.
and you don't want to use it, but you have it. You already have it. It's coming out of your chest like a dagger. You can just reach out and use it, you know, and because you know how to tell her, you know how to speak the truth, and you know when you're not sure, you say I'm not sure, but when you are sure, you're probably right. That's what I've noticed. Like with others around us, like Cue Ball, I'll say, Mr. Clean, he's not always right. He doesn't always speak the truth. He speaks his own truth, you know. And he's kind of immature. I think he's basically like 15 years old. Like seriously, I mean it's kind of sad, but like he's just watching TV, smoking cigarettes all day long, feeding sometimes. That's like a hog. To me, that's like a hog. And you know, no offense, but he's like a hog, and he's a happy hog, and his family contacts him once in a while. That would fucking depress the shit out of me. Like I would find that very depressing. Like and this is his altar. If I said this to him, he would definitely have a defense. He would have a defense against it. You know, he would raise a wall and start fighting back. But I have no qualm with him, really. I have no qualm with him. No reason to fight him. I don't fight him. I walk away. If he irritates me, I just go to the park. You know, that's why I come here. But I was trying to give you a compliment. It was about you, really, not Cue Ball. You speak the truth and you know the truth.
When you said the altar, my first impression was a occultic one. In other words,
yeah, could be.
An altar is maybe kind of like a wolf or
could be
a bat.
It's a symbol. It's a symbol, or his true self, or when you cut it, someone's true self. Yeah. It's them.
Like a Native American culture, they have altars.
Yeah, and so that's my little secret weapon. You can really destroy someone with the truth. Like, you know, you're just a fucking child, you know, or something like that. Like, but there's no reason to do that. You're a kind person. I've never seen you do anything like that that's out of anger. But good martial arts is self-defense. I think. Good martial arts is self-defense, nothing else. It's not for money. It's not for power. You know, self-defense. That's it. That's the only reason you should use martial arts, in my opinion. And I've been studying martial arts for about 10 years now. I've studied various martial arts, but just not grappling too much, but you know, striking arts for about 10 years. And if you hit an old lady across the head with your fist, you can kill her.
Right.
She can have a brain hemorrhage and die. And that can happen to anyone. Yeah. I could get hit in the wrong place and get a brain hemorrhage and die. If you know, it's not about where you hit, because on the street you can't really choose where you hit. You know what I'm saying? Like you hit what you can. And I've been assaulted 4 or 5 times, and I'm here.
Yeah.
I live to tell the tale. Luckily, none of them had weapons. If any of them had weapons, I'd probably be dead. None of them had weapons. So I was up to the challenge, you know. And this is something I'm proud of. In all my street encounters, you know, fighting on the street, and you know, sometimes it involved running away in clever ways. You know, like one time I stayed under surveillance cameras in McDonald's drive-thru just mussing up the cars and shit just to stop him. And I was calling 911 because this guy wanted to fight me, and he wouldn't step into surveillance. Like, so I was safe in the surveillance zone that was well lit.
Mm-hmm.
You stay in a well lit area. You never go into the fucking dark alley. That's like the dumbest thing you could do.
Mm-hmm.
Is go to a dark alley searching for food. Like, you will get raped. Like, easy, you know. At least in Sacramento. And like I tried to sleep on the grass, and this one guy said, he woke me up out of a dead sleep. I was so tired. I finally got to sleep. I'll keep that. And I'll keep that button. I'm gonna finish it for you. I should probably start my cigarette. We're winding up. I want to wind down and kind of shut this off.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm proud of this fact. Is in all my street encounters of like 4 or 5 assaults. I mean, depending on what you call an assault, a strike is a headbutt, a shoulder strike. If you're wrestling, you can shoulder strike them. Like if their head's here, you can strike at their nose. Like obviously a punch and a kick is a strike. Knee or elbow is a strike. Like, or anything you do is a strike. I've never thrown a strike. That's my rule. Do no harm.
I think
You know what I'm saying?
Probably the
So, do you believe me?
I've heard that the martial arts are cultic. Well, we'll
they
just
can
leave
be.
that.
They can be. Yeah, I guess.
But
They can be.
the least intrusive art is Aikido.
Yeah. Bouncers. Bouncers. Or basically Aikido.
Someone did this to me once,
Bouncers
and I
are
was
Aikido.
totally.
Yeah. That's a joint lock.
Yeah.
Joint lock.
Right.
One time, one closed their hand like this. Even if you do it just slightly, it puts a lot of pain on this. And they gave me an avulsion fracture.
Mm-hmm.
An avulsion fracture is when the tendon attached to the bone. Say this is bone.
Mm-hmm.
The tendon breaks off a piece of that bone. Like someone actually did that to me once. It was a cop. It was a cop in jail. I was tortured, actually. Teller. I was actually tortured. And they broke a bone in the process. And I fucking survived because I said, this is torture, you gotta stop. And they did. They just stopped. And it was amazing. My word just, it had power over them. Like, because I was on surveillance. I was on surveillance and I said, this is torture, you gotta stop. And they did. So, yay for me, and good night. This is Oppenheimer and fucking Teller.
Preston Nichols.
Preston Nichols.
And Peter Moon.
And Peter Moon. So we'll talk to you later.